When were you at your absolute freaking best? That is a question that not many people can answer, and I think I have the answer. At some point, life got complicated. Had to get a job. You had to go to school. But the first complication was school. Why do you think kids cry their very first day of school? Why do you think babies cry their first time at daycare? It's unnatural. School is excellent, don't get me wrong, especially if you're someone that wants to be a lawyer, a doctor, something that requires that specialized attention. But a lot of times we mistake our identities for what it is we learned in school and what it is we do for a living. And I'll give you a real world example. I thought being a trader is what I actually wanted to be. That's what I actually wanted to do with my life. And if I can do it all over again, I would probably go back to what I was passionate about when I was a younger man. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I would have stayed focused and studied the arts, music, cinematography, videography, and pencil drawing. Before a layer of trauma gets in the way, you were likely a creative. Think about it. As kids, you played with blocks. You scribbled on a piece of paper. You were just happy for the sake of being happy. But it gets complicated. You do something that your parents don't approve of, you get grounded. And sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. Being grounded taught me how to draw. I taught myself how to draw. Never took a formal art class until college, but I taught myself how to draw because I would be grounded and I would just sit there and draw. I had nothing else to do but pencil sketch. Which begs the question, again, if I could do it all over again, would I become a trader? I may sound ungrateful, but I would have learned the art of trading later on in life. But first and foremost, I would have put the arts first. You know why? Because that's a source of happiness. I used to get a lot of compliments on my art. Oh, you can draw, you can do this. Well, yeah, back when I used to sing, I used to get a lot of compliments. And that's what I would have studied. Now, making a living from it, that is something totally different. But I did have the opportunity to go to studio engineering school. And I passed because it wasn't what was socially acceptable at the time. Now that begs the question, do I regret the path that I went on? Absolutely not. Again, I just would have done it a little bit later in life, and the journey might have been just a little bit smoother because I would have already had a career going in something that I absolutely love without now going back in my 40s with 3 kids, figuring out what it is that is the next step. I would have had the skills that I truly wanted to acquire first, and then I could have acquired the trading skill a little bit sooner in life. What makes you happy? Is that something you've actually thought about? Your identity outside of all of your titles, the titles of mom, the titles of dad, the titles of husband, wife, whatever title that you have. Who are you underneath those titles? That question is something that only you can answer. And that's the answer that you probably should get to. That way you don't feel you wasted your life. The things that you love and are passionate about, they may not be the things that actually make you money. They just may be the things that bring peace in here, peace internally. And that's probably, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's 100% the most important aspect of life. I am a firm believer that anybody can be successful in anything that they choose to if they play their cards right. Success brings on a whole lot of other aspects, a lot of times unhappiness. But maybe it's time to redefine what we consider success. Maybe it's time to define success in batches. Now, let me explain. Financial success, personal success, and success within the titles that you wear, like mom, dad, brother, sister, all those, right? We need to put success in sections. That way, we don't tie financial success to our whole entire identity. And boy, oh boy, I did that. And let me be the first to tell you, it's not a good feeling when it's not happening. But when it does happen, you get a high. That high doesn't last very long. When it comes down, you're left with the question, who am I? What did I do this for? Instead of following something that you're truly passionate about, that you truly love, and something that's truly fulfilling to you in your unique spirit. I'm going to urge you to reconnect to that inner child, reconnect to that source of joy that you had that gave you that thirst for life. I think that's where the key to happiness lies. And on that note, I got to go take care of my toddler. Enjoy your weekend.